Chabad claims that Chassidus gives you more Yiras Shamayim, and I, for one, who has lots of family out of Crown Heights, I see that they have a lot more Yiras Shamayim, and that the whole Avir in Williamsburg and Muncie is more frum and more tznius, than Crown Heights, even without learning Chassidus. And why even those among us that learn and are involved in Chassidus and work in the Rebbe's shlichus, sichus, are not so particular in Yiras Shamayim, davening with a minyan, Zman Krishma, etc. Does Chassidus add Yiras Shamayim or not? There was a bochur in Eretz Yisrael who was thinking of going to a Mesnagdish yeshiva because he didn't like the Chassidish yeshiva. And his father said to him something that changed his whole attitude. His father said to him, whatever bad things you find in yeshiva, you'll find it in every yeshiva. But the thing that makes a Chabad yeshiva special, that you won't find anywhere. So, bad things exist everywhere, because the Yetzer Hara is everywhere, and everybody has the talent to be bad. But the one thing that Chassidus gives you, you're not going to find anyplace else. So, does Chassidus, learning Chassidus, add Yiras Shamayim? What's Yiras Shamayim? Mazos. There are people who are beteva, obedient. You tell them what they have to do, they do it. Because if you're supposed to do it, you do it. If you tell them it's very important, they believe you. And they do it. And if that's what it takes to be accepted in your family and in your community, then you have to do it. Yiras Shamayim doesn't mean you're afraid of punishment. Yiras Shamayim doesn't mean you're afraid of being rejected. Yiras Shamayim doesn't mean you're afraid of going to Gehenna. Yiras Shamayim means you don't want to do something that the Eibishter doesn't like. In order to have that feeling that you care what the Eibishter likes or doesn't like, you have to get to know the Eibishter. And in order to get to know the Eibishter, you have to learn Chassidus. This makes sense? So there are people who are frum. It's not necessarily Yiras Shamayim. The only way that we know of actually producing Yiras Shamayim is by getting to know the Eibishter. And the only way to know the Eibishter is through learning Chabad Chassidus. There's a famous story that Rabbi Yoel, many, many years ago, was at a chasana, at a wedding in Williamsburg. When they were going home, they were all taking buses, and it was a rainy night, and it was cold. So they were a group of people in the doorway of a store, right across from the bus stop. And they were all huddled there. It was cold. It was wet. People were. This one guy was very impatient, and he kept running to the street, end of the street to look to see if the bus was coming. Then he would come back disappointed because he didn't see the bus. He ran out again, came back. So finally he got frustrated, and he came back to the group in the doorway, and he said, der Boss hat schon kommen mit Mashiachim. So Rabbi Yoel said, what's the comparison? The bus could be it'll never come. Mashiach is definitely going to come. What are you comparing? So this guy, with the rain falling from his hat, he looked at him, he said, Lubavitcher? You talk like a Lubavitcher. What did he see? He was a Chassidish Yid. But when Rabbi Yoel said, what are you comparing a bus to Mashiach? Mashiach is for real. A bus? Who knows? He said, you're a Lubavitcher. What does that mean? There are people who accept El Malchus Shamayim because they're frum, because they're willing, because they're basically obedient people. And then there are people who actually know that Elokus is real and Gashmius is not. That's a Lubavitcher. That comes from learning Chassidus.